What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? It's Fly Nubian Money, where we help you to master your mindset and maximize your what? Your money. Listen, studies have shown that significant number of millionaires in the U.S. are married. Did y'all know that? And most of them have remained with their first spouse. This raises the question, what role does marriage play in financial success? So in today's conversation, we're going to explore how marriage and long-term partnerships can contribute to wealth building. It contributes to the stability that they provide and how they affect one's financial mindset. We'll also discuss how these relationships may foster a supportive environment for both partners to thrive financially. Could it be that commitment to a spouse that's the key ingredient to financial prosperity? We're going to break it down. The good thing about us breaking this down, though, is we have two, not one, but two doctors. Yes, we got two doctors today, ladies and gentlemen. We have one doctor, and these ain't PhDs like me. It's not a public high school diploma PhD. It's not an honorary doctorate. No, these women have went through the rigor of what it takes to become doctors. So we have the therapist doctor. She's going to therapize us today because we got to figure all this shit out of what's going on and why this is happening. And then we have the brilliance mindset doctor, Dr. Lene. So we have the two people, one talk about money, one talk about mindset. So let's get into it. Now, what do you think on the onset when you saw this topic, and I seen a man talking about it, that most millionaires are married and have been married for a long time. And I know, and the cool thing about this panel is we have somebody who's currently married, somebody who was formerly married, and then somebody who has never been married. And so I want to get everybody's opinion on that. So Dr. Alicia, I want to ask you first, what is your thought? What was your first thought when you seen that 90% of American millionaires are married to their first spouse?
That doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, we know we get these messages that we all need to focus on getting the bag and not relationships, that getting married and spending your time at home, settle down, it limits you. But what we're understanding is that getting married, having that commitment, there's a synergy there, that it doesn't limit you, that it actually helps you to grow and become better financially as a team. So I'm really encouraged by that.
I could dig it. What about you, Dr. Lene?
I think that when people first get married, let me say this. Let me see how I'm going to say this.
Spit it out.
I think a two-person home has the capability to getting to $1 million quicker, sooner, faster, easier, better than a one-person home. And so I believe when two people go into marriage, there's no, when you don't have money, you're not thinking about money. So there's no prenup, there's none of those stipulations. And so as the money starts coming in, I think you work harder to make it work, to stay together. You both are invested. You both, you show up that way. I think that what happens when you later have money and you go into the relationship with money, now there's this prenup, everybody want to get their piece, and they have, it's much easier to leave when you come in already with money on your mind. The old song says it's cheaper to keep her. Or him, because we don't know which one of the two has the money. We don't know which one is the millionaire, right? We don't know if it's the man or the woman. But I think you work harder when you build it together.
I agree. And so what do you guys think? What's your thought about, in the chat, 90% of American millionaires are married. Do you believe that's true? Or are you surprised about that? Is that a true statement? I'll say, just from my experience, I made millions of dollars, and it was mostly when I was married. And I would say, and this is what I used to tell him, I couldn't do this without you. Even though I was the breadwinner, I was the one that was making the money. Somebody had to be there with the kids. Somebody had to be and my thought was, who better to be there than their father? Now they would say that was probably not the best thing for them, but in my mind, it gave me the security to know that that I was able to do what I needed to do because my kids was good. But I will say this, being with the right person is what's important than just being with the person, because you could also have somebody that could drain you financially. You have somebody who could, who could bring you down. Maybe you could have gone further if you had the right partner. So there's a lot of different factors and variables that go along with that. Is not just marrying. That's even right now, right? When we're looking for partners.
That's the piece. I was going to say, that's the part. I'm looking at the whole thing, right? So 90% of American millionaires are married. The piece that's the kicker to me was the 65% are still married to their first spouse. Right. Because that's like, for real, not that they're married. Okay, you got millions of dollars. You want to protect them, but you still married to the same person you started out with. That's the kicker.
And then you also think about like Jeff Bezos. I think he's remarried, right? You think about the people who ended up getting divorced. They end up getting married again. Like a lot of those millionaires and billionaires, they end up getting married again. And so what is it about this thing about marriage that is calling people to make that commitment? Marriage is important. I believe it's important, but obviously there's something in that, I think. But let's look at the video that kind of kicked this thought off.
Did you know that 86% of millionaires are married? And that 65% of those millionaires are still in their first marriage. And that the average age of a millionaire is 57 years old. The narrative that you have been sold, that you have to get rich before you can have a relationship, is an outright lie. In fact, statistically, it is a healthy marriage that is the rocket ship that takes you to the moon. Just like the proverb says, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. So please, stop listening to this whole song and dance of get rich quick schemes, of make sure that you got a Rollie and a Bugatti in order to get bitches and boats and hoes and sell pictures of your body online because it's empowerment, and only date millionaires who can fly you out and buy you bags, and materialism and hedonism, and never get married and never have kids and live for yourself. All of that, in my opinion, is the Matrix. Stop listening to all of these online echo chambers of brokies who are training for the victim Olympics, and be careful of who you choose to listen to and to subscribe to and to consume the content of. Think about it. All of these people who are unsuccessful in their own relationships and their own lives, getting on mics to fuel one side or the other of the gender war, because they are actually arms dealers who are pandering to the public for personal profit. I hope you are hearing what I am saying, because it is not about needing to cross the finish line in order to be enough for a relationship. It is about learning how to run the race together, because life is a marathon. It is not a sprint, and there are two types of partners. Number one is selfish and nearsighted, addicted to instant gratification. They say, spend your money on me, live in the moment, I deserve, I want, I will take. And number two has vision. They say, no, babe, let's not go out and eat tonight. Let's cook dinner at home and buy a stock, because let's build something together. Choose wisely.
Look, I ain't gonna lie. I got to get this bag up. So I might put my feet on OnlyFans just to get that bag before I get a man. I don't know. But anyway, what do you think when you saw that, Dr. Alicia? Do you think there was some truth to it, or is he just another pander to another perspective?
No, he's talking about science, and science tells us that, yeah, if you are the type of person who's a go-getter in your business life and in your career, it takes dedication, it takes commitment in order to build a business, to become a millionaire. That same type of energy is what it takes when you select a partner. So it takes that sort of dedication and commitment that, to me, is transferable in your work relationship as well as your interpersonal relationships. So it makes absolute great sense. And I think we are given some messages that, you lose freedom when you settle down. Don't get married so you can protect your assets. Especially men get this message that marriage is a trap and women will drain your energy and money. But you don't understand, when you have to deal with conflict in a marriage, on the other side of that conflict is growth. So the fact that people have what it takes, the dedication and commitment to be to overcome challenges. Even all relationships have challenges. That's no secret. But your ability to overcome that makes you better. You're not making decisions by yourself. You have another person that you can bounce ideas off of. And we know that people tend to marry other people with similar IQ levels. So it's not like you're marrying somebody who is like not that intelligent. Usually people.
Well, if you do before your prefrontal cortex is developed, you may.
Well, I mean, even if you got people who are together in graduate school or in college, even if you start off small, it's the synergy of being together and having those long goals where you achieve those things together. It's better to go and achieve those aspirations, together than alone.
Yeah, agreed. Mm-hmm. So what is it, Dr. Lene, do you think that these people are so dead set against marriage or promoting the idea that, that I can get more if I was single?
What is it that people who feel?
Yeah. Why do you, where is this coming from? Is this a clickbait type thing, or are there people who really believe in this nonsense? And what are your thoughts about that, this is being promoted out there?
So I think it's two parts, right? You start talking about your prefrontal cortex. So I think there's a get rich or die trying. I can do it by myself under 40, under 45. Then there's the been there, done that. I don't want the drama and the trauma over 45. So I think there's two different versions of why I can do it by myself. I think the younger version could look at their parents, how their parents did it, maybe feel like they can do it on their own. They don't want the trauma. Some of the young men who are good young men feel like, I need to have a house. I need to be able to be a provider. If I can't provide for you, then I don't want to be with you. Not really understanding, well, we can build together. And then on the other side, you have women who are like, I can do it. I can do it by myself. So you have a woman who's saying, I can do it by myself. And you have a man saying, I want to wait until I'm in a position to do it for you. Neither one of them are on the same path, because one is trying to do it alone. And the other one wants to, you know what I'm saying? So there's this communication that's not happening. And then when you're older, like in our age range, it's more of, trying to protect what you've built, what you've earned. I'm 50 something years old. I'm 55 years old. I built this thing. I have kids. I don't know if I want to marry. Coming into something with somebody at 55, at 60, and you've built this thing. How do you split it? Where does it go? Whose kids get what? So then
that's my map.
Huh? That's your path. Yeah. So it depends. I think everybody's story is going to be different, and you really gonna have to communicate.
I do want to know, and I'll pose this question after the break. But my question is: are people happily married? Number one, because money does a lot of things, but is it like our grandparents who stayed together because they had to, or because they had no choice? That whole idea of it being cheaper to keep her. And more less affluent people are getting divorced because perhaps they don't have the resources to make sure that they stay married. I don't know. Let's talk about that after the break.
It's a good show right here, but I'm biased. If you are just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. My name is Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I'm the proud producer of this show because it is lit. If you want to receive notifications for when we go live Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All you have to do is text the word Queens to 87948. That's Queens to 87948. That's QUEENS to 87948. Also, if you want to grow your money and not blow your money, all you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. There's all kinds of resources, there's courses, there's free giveaways. There's just no reason to be broke in 2025. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. Obviously, you don't want to be entertained here. You want to know enough to grow. Wait, I need to put that on a shirt. You got to know to grow. Got to know to grow. So know and grow with flynubianmoney.com.
So I want one of you guys to take on this. So what do you think? Do you think that people are staying married because they, because it's easier to stay married when you have money. And it's like our, the grandparents who stayed together forever because they couldn't leave because maybe the loss was too great if they did.
Easier is the question, is the word. I'm like, I don't necessarily know if it's easier. I think and I guess I'm doing a play on words because I would say convenient, right? I think that some people really are in it to win it. They built it together. They want to be together. Other folks, I do think that, he may be out doing what he do. And she's like, listen, there ain't nothing else out there. I got the money. Let me live my life. And they say they're married, but he lives his life and she lives her life. Yeah. I think that's real. People do that. Hell, they do that and they don't got millions of dollars. How about that?
Right.
But then I think you have people who really are, in it. I think it's both. I think it's both, but I don't know which one I think is more though.
Now that's a question. What do you think, Dr. Alicia? Which one is more?
Marriage today is way different from our grandparents' marriage. And what we know from science is that although there are fewer people married now percentage-wise than there was back when our grandparents were married, what we know is that the marriages now, people are way more happier and more satisfied in marriages now than they were back in our grandparents, because back in our grandparents' days, you couldn't even get divorced. You were not able to. It wasn't until the 1980s that divorce rates shot up. And why was that? It ain't feminism. It's not feminism.
That's what they say.
That's what they say, but you can't blame your divorce on feminism. What happened is that in the 80s, they incorporated the law that says you can have a no-fault divorce. That's what happened in the 80s. It started in California by Ronald Reagan, and then it quickly dispersed all over the country. And since then, since the 80s, that's why divorce rates shot up, because you can have a no contest divorce. You could just say irreconcilable differences. That's what you can put down. When before, you weren't able to do that. People were all in your business about what was happening. And so that's not the case anymore. And that's why divorce rates shot up. So what we're looking at right now, there's so much known, so many couples therapists, and so much is known now about what is happy, healthy relationships. And it is mutual respect and mutual partnership. That is what creates a happy marriage. And so there may be fewer people married, but the marriages that you have now overall is way more satisfying and way more collaborative than our grandparents' marriage. Those are facts.
Okay. Yeah. So to your point, it says 60 to 70% of married people say they are satisfied or very satisfied in their marriage, according to surveys like those from Pew Research and the General Social Survey. And about 17 to 20% of married couples report being in a low quality or unhappy marriage based on studies from the National Marriage Project and other relationship researchers. Roughly 10 to 15% say they are ambivalent, not particularly happy, but not miserable either. They're just kind of existing. And so that begs the question, would you rather be ambivalent or would you rather be happy? And some people are okay with just being content or ambivalent. And some people, really want to be happy. But we talked last week, and you guys, I think somebody said like the whole idea of, the butterflies and the in love and the happiness, it really doesn't exist because now you're just working together.
Well, it does exist, but that's at the beginning stage. I don't know. Me and my husband, I've known my husband 30 some odd years. I think we've been dating for a while and been married a couple of years. I still get butterflies in my stomach.
Aww, I love it.
And I think he does too. But the ambivalence is normal. The ambivalence is normal. I think people really need to be realistic about long-term relationships. It is so normal at the beginning of the stage to be so excited to see each other because you don't even know that person very well. You just know what you're throwing up against them about your idealistic. But then when you're in the conflict stage of your relationship, which all relationships go through conflict stage, Let's be realistic. Once you on the other side of that, that's when you really get to know that person. When you really get to love them for who they are, flaws and all. Beyonce told us, flaws and all. She wrote that song for a reason. She was probably on the other side of conflict stage. And, you know, there's songs that can guide us through this whole thing. But on the other side of that, that's where the comfort level gets in. I know you. And I know what my husband is going to say and do before he says and does it. I know exactly what he's going to do because I know him very well. So that is just the normal part. So the ambivalence, that percentage of people who are in that ambivalence stage, all y'all just know that this is normal and you can get through it. And sometimes you get through it and decide to part ways, and that's okay. We're on our journey. We're on our journey to learn and to evolve. But sometimes you get through it and you decide to stay together. And, you know, and that's okay too. But the toxic relationships where people are just awful toward each other and they're not kind and they're not considerate of each other. I mean, those were the relationships that you know, need to be considered and examined further.
So, okay, let me ask you this, Dr. Lene. Would you rather be ambivalent and rich or poor and happy?
Are those the only options?
Those are your only two options.
If I had to choose between poor and in love or ambivalent and paid, I'm gonna be ambivalent and paid. If those are my only two options, because ambivalent doesn't mean sad. It just means you're not, you know,
content. You know, I mean, you're not particularly happy, but you're not particularly.
What happens is I think people get stuck in ambivalent. Like you get there and feel like, oh, this is where we got to stay, and then nobody's doing the work. You stop dating. You stop doing the things that made you have butterflies. Yeah, like. It's not that ambivalent isn't a part of the natural process. You're comfortable. You know this person. Like she said, you can finish that sentence. Like there's the mystery is gone, right? Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean it has to stay there. Do something different. Take Spanish. Create more mystery. Pick up a book. Ask questions you haven't asked. There's ways to keep things fresh, but people get stuck in and they just stay there. Yeah. So
listen. It's easier to try to get happy when you're rich than try to get rich when you poor. Or be ambivalent and try to get happy than try to get rich when you're poor. It's a little bit easier to try. And I'm with you on that. Sis, what do you think, Dr. Alicia? Would you rather be ambivalent and rich or poor and happy? Judy?
Here's the thing. Even if you are poor and happy, even those people went through an ambivalent stage. I'm talking about
okay, but that's the reality. Those are your options, though, baby. Those are your options.
You have no choice. You have no choice. The ambivalence piece is going to present itself to you. So maybe now that I'm thinking about it, maybe it is better to be rich and ambivalent because you're going to get through it. Right, you will get through that.
You can pay for help. You can take a trip. You can go on dates.
Right. Therapy. I love it all. Listen, all that. We're going to make this thing better, babe.
Oh, Lord.
So Judy, shout out to Judy, that's 7. She said, I like this. I'm glad she gave a historical perspective. The notion of romantic love actually began to spread during the Enlightenment era in the 18th century. Prior to that, marriage was more of a business or life contract, often to guard power and resources. Some may not be happy as it is defined today, but they are fine with being content, satisfied in the relationship. But there are other things that make them stay, like that good D. And we'll talk more about that when we come back from the commercial.
I know you're busy. You got things to do, and you can't take us on the go with you every single day. Good news for you. We are now on Spotify. So if you can't watch us, now you can listen to us on Spotify. Search Fly Nubian Money and all the episodes shall appear. All you have to do is like, subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, leave some comments, tell people how you love us so that when other people come along and are looking for a great show to watch, they can find Fly Nubian Money too. One last thing, and just in case you've been sitting under a rock, Fly Nubian Money now has an investment club. We are the Fly Nubian Money Club. It's easy. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com, and I am committed to bringing in top experts from all industries to help you level up. They're teaching us the skills that we need to compete in this market. We often say that nobody is coming to save us, not the government. But guess what? We're coming to save us. I'm coming to save you with the Fly Nubian Money Club. So listen, all you have to do again is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com. We have a 30-day free trial set up just for you, just for those people that are struggling. Even if you ain't struggling, you ain't got to struggle. I'm coming. Okay, let me stop playing.
Listen, Charles Black said, and I love this. He said, the problem I see nowadays is the fact that too many people are basing their happiness is off of finances instead of being pleased with their everyday activities, creating memories, going for walks in the park, holding hands, having picnics and things like that. Nobody wants to enjoy the little things anymore because we're too busy searching for the grand of things. And without the grand things, our happiness is just demolished, which he is 100% right. And I think a lot of women just want the simplicity. You do have, a few drops in the bucket who have the loudest microphone, right? Who do want those things. Those are the ones that you're going to hear from. But I think a good majority, at least of the people that I know, want those simple things. We just want real love. Let's go to Anonymous. Shut up. Anonymous ain't shit. What do you Anyway, we're going to go to the next video. I can't stand Anonymous. He on here talking shit again.
Well, why do you think every man that you ever see that become a powerful man on the rise, every one of them had a woman next to them?
So you mean a man like Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, John D. Rockefeller, Andrew Carnegie? You talking about men like that?
Men like that.
Okay, I just want to.
The Jay-Z's of the world.
Yeah. I just want to lay it out.
You know what I'm saying? We're talking 99% of that field, which most men want to be in. All of them on the rise to get there had a great woman next to them. All of them.
That's correct.
You know what I'm saying? Now, when they got there, shit happens. But on the rise to get there, they had a loyal woman there. And when they got there, say they did get a divorce. You didn't see them in the tabloids or in the news. Goddamn, y'all online bashing this woman. She deserved every inch of what she got.
And listen, it was he's right, because when they got there, you look at Jeff Bezos, is he with his wife anymore? You look at Warren Buffett, he got a wife, but he has a whole girlfriend that lives with him that he deals with. Like, you look at these people and look at how they're really living, and are they really? Is it true? But what are your thoughts, Dr. Lene, on that? Do you think that that's an important factor on the rise up, is having a good partner next to you?
I do, actually. I know we hear the analogy, or the old adage, I think is what they call it. You can go fast alone, you can go further with people
Together.
I used to always like, well, but if I'm going faster, how are they going further? Right. And then one day I was like, oh, we're all going the same speed, but there's 2 of them, or there's 3 of them, or there's 4 of them. So while I'm going faster, because I'm by myself, it's just me, I'm going fast, but he's going fast, she's going fast, they're going fast. And so they're going further than me because they're together. Mm-hmm. When you look at it that way, it's like, man, you're doing all this work alone. You could have, like you, I'm going to take care of the business, you're going to take care of the family. If it's just you by yourself, you got to take care of the business and the family. So you're going fast, but you're tired. You're not getting as far. The work's not as good. So having 2 people, and that's just the business part. That's not even the mother-father dynamics of having holistic children who have the male energy and the feminine energy. Like that's a whole other thing. The family dynamics, the love and support that a woman gives to a man, the love and support that a man gives to a woman, the big ups. Like, there's so much that happens when you have 2 people doing the work together.
Yeah. I will tell you this. My son told me one day, Mom, this is bad. He said, imagine if you had somebody like you that you were married to, how much further could you be? And I'm like, but he was there with y'all. They're like, yeah, but that was a waste of time. So, but it all goes back to having the right person that you have with you, and not having the wrong person, because the wrong person could bankrupt you. The wrong person could make some financial decisions that really set you back, or, it could prohibit you from being able to go further than you would be able to going alone, or with someone who was, is equally as ambitious or whatever, or have the same values or goals as you. So that's important. But What are your thoughts about what this gentleman said about, I mean, I guess it's the same thing, right? Just the values of having somebody with you, Dr. Alicia.
Look at Shannon Sharp versus LeBron James.
Look at Shannon Sharp versus Mickey Mouse.
I mean, look at that. Like Mark Zuckerberg and his wife. I mean, look at all these people. It's like you have this co-architect in this empire that you're creating. It's the trust, it's the shared vision, it's the partnerships. That is what's so important. And LeBron James is like, I would be nothing without Savannah. I would be nothing without her. So that tells you that they pushed each other in their teamwork. The love in business, they grow in tandem. And, you make sacrifices today for legacy tomorrow. All of these things are major themes when you have power couples, that come together and create such wonderful things for not only for them and their family. Lene, oh my gosh, thank you so much for bringing up the children. It is so great to have children, that can see and witness the sacrifices their parents make in order to provide for everybody in the household. It's really good for them to have two parents there investing in their child's life in the same home. So I think that's really important. And I mean, I also want to make a comment about economics too, because I do agree with the comment about the, early 19th century. Yeah, that is so true. I mean, economics back then was connected to farming. So you had to have a wife with a whole bunch of kids because somebody had to go out on the farm and till the land or you would starve in the winter. So yeah, if your wife passed away or somebody passed away, we're going to have to go the next day and get somebody in there in that spot. And you starve. So yeah, it is economics.
Yeah. Let's look at the next video.
I feel like this. Most men are more successful that I see that's either married or in a relationship.
Yes, facts.
Cause you can't be giving not only your time, but you can't be giving your energy all over the place. That ain't good for you.
Energy, resources.
Yeah. When you dating multiple women, you never gonna get in the flow because you low key trying to impress, you trying to do this, you spending unnecessarily money all the time. But when you're in a relationship, listen, who I'm showing out for? I mean, of course I want to show off for my wife,
right?
But I ain't got to be extra. I could just be me. Anytime you're in a situation, you could just be you. That's gonna be the most beneficial. I ain't saying that everybody got to be married or nothing like that. But when I do see somebody that I may,
facts,
I'm looking for a mentor. If I see you married and you with your family, not necessarily perfect, I'm like, okay, maybe I could trust this person. You know what I mean?
Facts.
A little bit more.
It's a reason why we never had a single president before, because people trust family-oriented people, period, especially family-oriented men. It's easier for me to trust you when I know you got a girl that you've been with for a long period of time. Y'all got kids, y'all got a family, y'all got a foundation y'all building.
Yeah.
It's easier for me to trust you than just knowing you out here on your fucking own.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We never, as a country, we never had a single president. We probably never will because people don't really trust somebody that's out here that's single moving like that. Because your life could be all over the goddamn place. Yeah. Family brings stability.
I don't know if you guys watched David Banner on Shannon Sharp the other day. Did y'all see that? Y'all see that? Okay. I got a chance to watch at least an hour of it before I fell asleep. But one thing that he said was that, is that one of the, y'all said it, y'all talked about it yesterday. One thing he said is that his mentor taught him not to do business with a man who cheats on his wife, because if it cheat on his wife, if the person who sleeps with him can't trust him, then how is his wife supposed to be able to trust him? And so that goes back to what they were saying. And they were talking about, the man who has all this, going on, how are they going to be successful? Well, let's talk about it. I want us to just name some successful men who are consummate bachelors. You have your Hugh Hefner. I know the first thing that came to my mind was who? Diddy. But who are some other ones that have been maintained a level of success? Of course, he got caught up, but I'm just saying who've been, your forever bachelors, but never, and were successful. Can you guys name any? Y'all can't name none?
We can say Michael B. Jordan. I mean, but he's young.
Michael B. Jordan. Okay. Who else?
A successful man that is a bachelor.
Yeah, it brings more credibility. I think
Maxwell.
if you're a married man,
Him on the battleship last year. Shit, he wouldn't come out. He raised Diddler to someone else.
Well, I'm thinking about Tyler Perry, but
Tyler Perry was married briefly.
Was him and old girl married? They weren't married, were they?
I thought they were married.
The girl the lady he had the baby with?
Yeah, I thought they got married.
I don't think they did, but I could be wrong. But I don't think they did.
Who said he was?
I don't know. So I can see.
Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh my gosh! So here,
no,
he ain't doing business deals with people like that. The thing is that married is benefits men. I mean, greatly. Married men, over 50% of married men, almost 60% of married men have a satisfying sex life, compared to 30% of single men, and I think it's 35% of cohabitating men. These are numbers. Y'all can check it. Y'all can check my numbers, but off the top of my head, that's what I remember.
Wait a minute. So they wait. So they out here bragging about getting all the coochie they want, and it ain't even good?
It's not good. How could it be good? Everybody's so varied. You got that one person that know exactly what you like.
Facing all of this tail, and it ain't even good.
It ain't even good. And you're not working together for a common cause. So you definitely, just like the video said before, your attention is all over the place. Mm. When you get married, it's a sense of responsibility. That's why married men, immediately drive safer. That's why your car insurance decreases almost in half if you're married than if you're single, because you want to be careful because you got people counting on you. It's that mutual accountability that you have to another person. You're not just thinking about yourself. You're thinking about the fact that I am a husband. I am somebody's wife, a mom. I have all of these responsibilities, and you rise to the occasion. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Better health. Married men live 10 years longer than unmarried men. They have better health outcomes, faster recovery in hospitals after post-surgery, married men do than single men. All of this.
Aaron, Pierre, that's Mufasa. He ain't gonna be single for long. And Michael Ealy, don't he got a white woman? Ain't he married?
I thought he got divorced. Michael Ealy.
Huh. And that's such BS. So unfair for single folks. Single people are out here having good sex too. At least single women are. Dr. Lene, what do you think about what the man said?
I concur. I think that men who have that support. So here,
what? What?
Men get caught up in the men stuff, the masculinity, the provide, the protect, the go full throttle. What the woman does when she comes in with the man that's like that is helps you have balance. I think kind of like what Dr. Alicia was saying, it's the value part that a woman brings to a man, especially if you are single focused on money and getting to the top. There's something that happens when you are that type of a man and you walk into a room with a woman on your arm. There is something that happens when you know how to operate and communicate with a woman, because you take that talent and skill and you take it into these other rooms. Like a woman softens your edges. She, if you look at Steve Harvey always talks about what Lori did, and I'm not giving Lori praises at all in any kind of way, shape, fashion, or form, but she saw him. Remember when Steve used to wear those loud yellow and orange and pink and blue suits and what? She was like, nah, in order for us to go to the next level, we need to do this. And so she helped him to reshape his suits. And she's like, let's let this hair go. Let's do this. Like she elevated him. Like she saw the pieces of him and softened those edges to elevate. And that's what a woman does. A lot of times a man, especially single men, will say, I don't need a woman. I don't need a wife. I'm doing good by myself. I'm making money. I'm doing all the things. Yeah. But there's another level when a woman comes in and softens those edges and talks to you softly and dusts you off and help you go into these meetings. And hey, babe, did you prepare for that meeting? Do you want to run it by me? There's just a way that you work together to elevate. And that's in one direction, the woman to the man, but it's vice versa. A woman who's powerful, who's out here in the streets, and by the streets I mean the boardroom, and you're dealing with these men that are trying to attack you or come at you crazy, and you have to be in here. You can come home and talk to that man and like, hey, relax, calm down. This is how you speak to men. This is what they're looking for. This is how you operate so that you can do better. Like, you're a team. You need each other. And so I agree. I think we are better together.
So for both of you, I know, Dr. Alicia, you were single. How long were you single before you got married?
Before I got which time? Because I've been married twice.
Because your first marriage was like right out of college, right?
Yeah. Well, no, it was right out of graduate school.
Okay.
So in 2015 was when that was over. 2015.
Okay.
And so I got married. Yeah.
So what, about 4 years? You're single for 4 years?
For about 4 or 5 years, yeah. 2021, 2015 to 2021, I was single. And I was single long before my divorce was finalized, because you have separation and all. Right. It's over long before it's over.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So for you, and for you, Dr. Lene, did you ever feel pressured to marry for financial reasons?
No.
As big as
okay. I never felt,
or to stay single to protect your assets.
Neither.
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk about double A? So what about the other way around? I feel like a woman can do it without a man, especially if she has no kids. I think that is super damaging. I don't think it's a matter of what we can and can't do. I think it's a matter of what we should and shouldn't do. Can we do it by ourselves without kids? Absolutely, we can. But why would you want to? Like, do you want to build this life and success with no man, no kids? Now you've made it. Now you're worth $1 million, and now you got to try to find a husband. Now you have issues with trust. Does he want to be with me just because I got money? When you could have built it together. And it's not just a her thing. I think it's a community thing where we don't understand building together. You don't have to have it all. As a woman, I don't have to have it all. As a man, you don't have to have it all. We have to build something so that we are both invested. Now, I know that those dynamics might change as you get older. I'm 45. I got my own little stuff. You 45. You got your own little stuff. You kind of come into the situation with some stuff built, right? But we only like halfway through the life. There's still some things that we can build together. So I think we have the dynamics of relationships wrong sometime, where we feel like we have to be 100% to come into this thing. 2 100s equals 200, but 250 still equal 800. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm 60, you 40. Maybe I'm 40 and you're 60. We can still come in and be whole. I feel like we've been sold, or we got the banana in the tailpipe, where it's this, you got to be independent woman, take care of yourself. You don't need nobody else. And then you get grown and you looking around for somebody else, but you don't live this independent life. You don't even know how to partner with somebody. Like, we need to start practicing partnership, building together, loving together, learning how to be in relationships so that we can get to millionaire status. That's my little 2 cents.
Okay, so to tag on to that, would you marry someone who had financial potential, but didn't have the financial discipline?
How old am I?
You're your age now.
It would depend on where they are in their potential.
Okay.
If they are sitting on the couch, no written plan, I think I can, probably not. If they are potential with the plan, I'm knocking on the doors, I'm working it, I can see this thing popping off, yes, I would.
Okay. All right, bet. All right, we're going to talk more when we come back from the commercial.
Are you a Black business owner looking to expand your reach? Well, has Fly Nubian Money got good news for you? We are building a Black business directory to connect you with customers who need your services. And here is the best part. It is absolutely free. Email us at info@realvirtual.net. Send us your business name. Tell us a little bit about what you do, what services you offer, your website address, and your contact information. That's it. Together, we are going to build and circulate the Black dollar. Get listed today and start connecting with people who are probably already looking for you.
So Anonymous, I want to answer. He said no dude wants to be married to a rich woman like that, though. That's why Stedman never married Oprah. And to the contrary, he asked Oprah to marry him. She said no. But before we even came on here, Dr. Alicia, you were talking about what Akilah. What's Akila's name?
Kiki.
Yeah, Kiki Palmer.
Mhm.
She said on that podcast. Can you just break it down and explain?
Yeah, well, she mentioned the double standard of how, and Oprah, gets talked. She felt sorry for Oprah Winfrey for getting heat and for being with Stedman as her longtime partner, and Stedman being kind of put down. Although Stedman is successful in his own right, he ain't at Oprah Winfrey level success, but he has been successful. And people always wonder, like, why would Oprah Winfrey? She's a powerful woman. She needs to be with yet another powerful man. And what Kiki Palmer was saying, that why are they scrutinizing that relationship, but they don't scrutinize powerful men? And she said powerful men can get their wives from under a bridge somewhere, and ain't nobody gonna say nothing about that and scrutinize them. She's got some valid points there about that, about the double standard. Mm-hmm. And she's just like, I'm going to be dating for love. She's like, I don't really need anybody, no money or any of that. I'm just going to be coming because I want that partnership. And yeah, if you want to help me get my nails done and stuff like that, that's nice, but that's not what I need you for. Yeah. And she's like, just because I'm with somebody that's not, making a ton of money, if I'm with somebody that makes less money than me, that doesn't mean that our relationship is less than. Right. She was talking about the double standard.
Right, because she said, what do I not need? Money. I got that. Why I gotta get somebody with money? So the idea of marrying for love. Do you think, Dr. Lene, that women should at a certain stature or status should be looking for men? Because we talked about previously the idea of respect and women not respecting men who can't, quote unquote, provide to the level that she needs. Should women be looking for men who are making a certain amount if they're making a certain amount?
I think that's what women are already looking for right now. I think that, man, the relationship dynamics become difficult when we put money into them. But I understand it, right? A man is supposed to protect and provide, etc. This is what I would ask. If you have lived a life of protection and lifestyle at $70,000 a year, why then do you believe and hold out that you should be living one at $300,000? That's the thing I always wonder. Like, well, why does you only used to 70,000? So then why he got to have 300? But you don't even know what that life is. You don't even know what that lifestyle is. So I think we walk past a lot of blessings, because if he got 70,000 and you got 70,000, that's 140. You close to about 150. But if he's the only one got to come to the table with 300,000, well, what you bringing, right? Yeah. We miss the partnership. We miss teamwork. He's supposed to take care of me. Well, what if he can't? What if he loves you and he takes care of you in other ways and you just got to do your part in a different way? Everybody's relationship has to be what it needs to be for you and that person. I know I said here. I know. Sometimes I say because I'm trying to figure out how much I want to say out loud. So my friend makes 7 figures. I don't quite make 7 figures yet. We talk about if we're getting ready to start a business, and we talk about if our business pops off and starts making more money than your business, you're going to leave your business, right? Huh? So every situation comes with more. If we make more money in his business or in that, he's asking me, do I then walk away from my business because my business doesn't make as much money as his and we should put all of our energy and effort into his business? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if that's what I would do. So just because you get with somebody or you talk to somebody that makes money, it doesn't mean that life is going to be different, or that you get to keep your life, you get to walk away from your life, or that they're going to have their money with your money. Every relationship has to be put together based on the dynamics of that relationship and what you feel you can do together, what you feel comfortable with. Do I feel like I've just worked 15 years for my relationship, for my business, 15 years for my business to then walk away from it so that we can put all of our energy and effort into your 7-figure business? I don't know. To be continued.
Yeah, and that's the thing about it is that everybody talks about what other people should be doing when they really should be talking about what they should be doing. Like we put our opinions on what we think other people should be doing, and it's like, yeah, but everybody's lifestyle is different. What I may do, it's kind of like when I used to show houses, right? And I would go show a house in a certain neighborhood, and then they would say, "Would you live here?" You can't afford to live where I would live. So that's not even a question for me. Right? Like
you gotta have problems on your level.
Yeah. Like how do I answer that question? Because there are neighborhoods far better that you would live in that I wouldn't live in. So you don't base your opinion on my lifestyle, right? We can't base our opinions on other people's lifestyle or have other people base their opinions on our lifestyle. Let's go to these stats. So the National Marriage Project at the University of Virginia found that individuals in long-term marriages 10 plus years are more likely to accumulate wealth, with the average couple in such marriages having 3 to 5 times the net worth of their peers who've been divorced or are not married. So 90% of American millionaires are married and 65% are still married. So impact on wealth accumulation. A 2017 study by the Brookings Institution found that married couples are twice as likely to have accumulated retirement savings as compared to their unmarried counterparts, highlighting how financial stability is often tied to marital relationships. And according to the U.S. Census Bureau, married couples have a median net worth of $130,000, while unmarried individuals have a median net worth of $44,000. This shows a significant financial benefit to marriage when it comes to wealth accumulation. So, I mean, all roads lead to marriage equals wealth, or at least a better chance of obtaining wealth. I mean, that's just the bottom line. It's what did you say, Dr. Alicia, earlier? It's science. I mean, it just is what it is. And so the facts are the facts. There's nothing that you could do, or nothing that these podcasters could say, or these red and blue pill motherfuckers could say to distort the fact that marriage is beneficial, not just to, a man and a woman, but to your children, to your financial status, to your bottom line. Terry's Nori said, what did he say? If I was to meet a sister that bring in more than I do, there wouldn't be a problem with that. A woman is not required to need my money just for her to be with me. It just would not be an issue. Okay.
I don't know. I want to comment to that, because research does show that men are statistically more likely to cheat on their wives when they make significantly less than their wives. So it's not about money itself. What we think it is, it's about identity, it's about power, it's about gender expectations. And what we're thinking is that maybe men are socialized to tie their masculinity to their role as a provider. And if they don't fulfill that expectation, they may feel emasculated. They feel like they're less than. They have this shame, resentment. So cheating is used probably unconsciously, like you're not really aware of it, but cheating is used to regain power and assert control and to assert your manhood. So that's what we think, like you're seeking dominance in other areas, and view infidelity as like a way to gain leverage in the relationship. So it's a rebellious kind of acting out to rebalance the power differential when money is kind of offset sometimes in relationships. So I want to comment on that, because that's something that we know is potentially an issue.
Good shit. Well, since you're talking, let's go ahead and wrap up your final thoughts with you, Dr. Alicia.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah. So clearly today we know that being married, at least on the stats, being married puts you into middle-class status. You have another person that you can lean on to help you with not only your financial issues, but emotionally, health-wise, you have a companion. So that's what we know. So y'all keep that in mind. When you start hearing the red pills dog out men and women and relationships and modern relationships, that's fake news. Let's stick to the science of healthy relationships, the science of how to achieve money, and the science, and get away from all of this commentary that's based on nothing. Now, if you want to make sure your relationship is strong and remains strong, if you're in that what is that indifferent stage, the normal stage of marriage where you feel indifferent about that person and you need help guiding through that, you can contact me at coachingwithdralicia.com. Follow me on Instagram at coachingwithdralicia.
Amen. Thank you, Dr. Alicia. All right, Dr. Lene, give your final thoughts and where can they find you?
My final thoughts are super simple. Keep folks out your business.
Boom.
Do what works for you.
Yeah.
Because the reality is you don't know what you will or won't do until you find the one. There's a lot of things that we say we're not going to do and we're not prepared for and you ain't, and whatever the case might be. Woo-wee, the one that sets your soul on fire, you don't know what you will do. You don't know what you won't do. You don't know what you'll stay for. You don't know when you'll leave. You may stay too long. You might leave too soon. You may circle back around. You just don't know. So at the end of the day, use your best judgment for what works for you. Stop looking at other people because you don't know what's going on in their house. We always talk about keeping up with the Joneses, but you do not live with the Joneses. So you don't know what goes in those rooms. So that's what I would say. Keep to yourself. Not keep to yourself, but do what works for you. Do what makes you happy. Do happy life, happy wife. I don't like to say that one. I like to say happy spouse, happy house, because a man should be happy the same way that a woman should be happy. I am Dr. Lene Vet. I am a strategist and I help Black service-based entrepreneurs who package and sell their expertise to brand their brilliance and monetize it so that they can make money. You can follow me at I am Dr. Lene Vet.
Good shit. Listen, she kept it all the way simple, but expounded upon that and pontificated and hypothecated and everything else. And here's the fact: keep people out your business. That's the bottom line. But here's what I know for sure: that wealth is built faster when you have a partner that you could do it with. It don't mean that you need a partner to become a millionaire, but it does help, especially when the two people when they're aligned with purpose, with discipline. It becomes inevitable. Your wealth becomes inevitable because most millionaires are not just married because of love, as we've discussed, but they're married because they have the proper structure in place. They have the proper support, and hopefully they've sat down and they've been able to strategize and they have the proper strategy, because that's what you need. You need all of those things. Love is a extra added component, is the cherry on top, but don't get it twisted. Marriage without alignment can bankrupt not just your spirit, but your bank account. You need to have purpose. You need to have, all the things that come along with it, because a wedding is not going to make you wealthy. Being wise will. So that's all I got to say about that. Listen, this is Fly Nubian Money, and we are here every single day. And here's what we know. We've explored the connection between marriage and financial success. It's clear for many that a committed long-term partnership can provide the stability and support needed to build wealth. But the key is aligning your values, setting mutual goals, and working together as a team, whether in marriage or in business relationships, or the cornerstones of success. And understanding how to navigate them can help set us up for generational prosperity. Now listen, tonight is the night, y'all. We about to get off here, but I want to invite you guys. This is a quick reminder that our next Level Up Lounge is happening tonight at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. And you definitely do not want to miss this one. This is the $1 Million Networking Strategy. It's how to build relationships that open real doors, turning your circle into a source of income, growth, and opportunity. This is your chance to learn how to stop networking sideways and learn to start networking upward. All right. So this is with me and Miss Tiara. And I heard her and Dr. Lene's conversation was hella rich, hella juicy last time. So hopefully ours will be as equally as juicy as the one that they had. But listen, we are going to see you tomorrow, the same bad time, same bad channel. We're on Spotify. Also, make sure that you sign up for the Fly Nubian Club so that you can get all the training that you need to enhance and fortify your life. We will see you tomorrow. Peace.